You have so much experience covering consumer technology, 15 years of it, if you don't mind me saying. This is actually my first Dell Tech World. I'm sure it is not your first, but everyone that I bumped into at the airport, on the flight, that phoned me last week was like, this is actually very big. The stakes are very high here. Also in the enterprise context. Why is that this time around?
Because I don't think that we heard the word enough this morning. So let's say AI is here and every company is trying to understand how they can rethink their business to take advantage of AI. And because of that, they need a good partner.
We will talk about AI PC, but the story, frankly, with generative AI is NVIDIA selling the H100 generation AI accelerator or high-performance GPU to the hyperscalers and Meta. And I don't see much evolution beyond that. Do you?
It's a bit like a duck, right? That is moving and you don't see the feet paddling under the water. And I think that's what the likes of Dell are doing. For enterprises, is the day-to-day, is how to really take advantage of AI to rethink their business, do better productivity, reach people that they haven't reached before, and that requires attention on the day-to-day. So thinking about the role that Dell can play as a trusted partner and supplier is really help optimize workloads and take advantage of AI in the right way, whether it is in the cloud or at the edge.
And I suppose Jensen Huang and NVIDIA, he's not been selling anything at any point in his career to the public sector at the micro level. Look, I grew up in a Dell household with Dell desktops. I broke many of them playing Age of Empires on CD-ROM. When I think AI PC, I keep hearing it's coming. I don't really know in my mind or my heart that I know what an AI PC is.
And I think most consumers don't, right? For me, the really true selling proposition of AI PC is the idea that you're lowering the barrier of entry for people to interact with technology. And so because of generative AI, everybody can become a power user, taking away the friction that we still have on the PC that maybe we don't have anymore on a phone.
I don't know that the consumer's ready. Often when a new technology comes to market, it's expensive and it goes down from there. And I wonder, is Dell the OEM or whichever chip maker it is, there are several of them eyeing this space, maybe do they eat the cost to make it more palatable for the consumer to try it out,
I think with AI, there are two parts, right? There's the cost of the hardware and then there's the cost of the service. And so as far as eating their price or part of their return is both on the Microsoft, on Copilot, as well as it is on the chip maker and OEMs. What is good is that we're seeing, for instance, the likes of Qualcomm have a broader set of offering that hits the main market, the mainstream market, and the early adopters. Are consumers ready? No. We need to tell an honest story of what AI is and what real AI is, when real AI is going to hit the market, because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's going to take years to actually see the full value of AI.
And Carolina, can you explain to me, therefore, why I need an AI PC or AI at the edge rather than just using an app, the latest bot, the latest ChatGPT competitor?
There are a couple of things. There AI working on the actual exchange between you as a consumer or user and the PC and the hardware. But then there's also, from a privacy perspective, the idea that having AI on the edge allows you not to send your data to the cloud. So there's a privacy play and there's a latency play. And to be honest, there's a cost play that it comes in, especially from a services perspective, right? That running all these workloads in the cloud is going to be expensive, and somebody's going to have to pay for the investment that the vendors are making.
Yeah, at the moment it's being sucked up by, well, the hyperscalers and the companies that they're helping offer some of the freer access to compute. Carolina, I'm interested in particularly your role, because I love the turn of phrase that you said, everyone can become a power user. When you're using AI, you are quite literally a user of power as well, and you're really focusing on environmental, social governance strategies for some of these tech players. Is energy becoming the #1 thing that people are starting to talk about?
100%, and I think that we need to talk more about it because we hear a lot about AI helping sustainability, but AI comes at a cost as well from a sustainability perspective. And so that intersection between the energy consumption that AI will require and also the benefit that AI will bring in optimizing, like the grid as an example, is something that we need to talk more about.
Carolina, Dell is celebrating its 40th year. This is a really important event, but are they celebrating it in a position of strength in this market?
I think they do. As a company, they're very well trusted, as I said, by the customers and partners. They have really helped through digital transformations for years. They really did well during COVID, helping their customers through a very tough period. And as a company, they have great leadership. I think when you have a founder that is still driving the day-to-day of a company, the things are different. And they are strong on ESG as well, as Caroline said. I care a lot about DE&I and sustainability, and they are a great company in that respect, doing great work.